Hi, this is Kristen Soraldo, and I'm coming to you with this free independent restaurant workshop. This is part 3 in a series that really is meant to address issues in the wake of COVID-19. And in this third portion, we're going to cover both confidence and community because those two things really go hand in hand. My company is the Friday Guide. I've been in restaurants and bars, particularly working with independent restaurants and bars, for over 20 years. I'm in the financial, bookkeeping, consulting, and systems development space. So I help restaurants and bars streamline their processes, make money more easily understood, and basically help plan for the big picture while they're focusing on the day-to-day. I would be remiss if I did not give a shout out to Melio Payments. Melio contacted me when they heard that I was trying to get a webinar together, just quick to address some of the things that independent restaurants and bars were facing in the last few days. Everything's changing so rapidly. They quickly identified a way that their payment solution can help. It is so easy. We just have 2 slides from them really quickly to introduce them to you. Melio Payment, business-to-business payments for small business. Very easy. Add your bill, then pay the bill with ACH, debit card, credit card. Your vendor gets a check. Now, I feel like that description kind of hides the real payoff for restaurants and bars. See, with Melio Payments, you can pay your bills by credit card. That includes vendors who don't normally take credit cards because they send the vendor a check. This is good for restaurants because, number 1, pay with credit cards. Number 2, pay with credit cards where you don't have to pay them off for at least 30 days without interest, which means essentially your COD vendors now just basically, the way you pay them now, you basically have 30-day terms. So it's a fantastic solution, particularly in these cash crunch times when everyone's worried about cash flow. Please support them. They're a great ally of bars and restaurants by going to meliopayments.com. It's very easy to sign up. You'll have all the information there and tell them the Friday Guy sent you. And thank you so much to Melio. So, community and confidence. How do you create confidence and community when the world has just become completely unpredictable? It's directionless. There is no map for this. So how do you write your own map? We are in the wilderness. And how do independent restaurants and bars survive that wilderness? Well, we're going to explore some, if not solutions, at least some guideposts, at least some check-in guiding principles that we can touch on or keep in touch with during this difficult time. So on one side, you have basic survival skills, which is letting others know you haven't given up. And on the other side, the advanced, for all you advanced students out there, is actually not giving up. And that doesn't necessarily mean giving up on the restaurant. It means not giving up hope that you can still impact your destiny. If it means closing your restaurant, then it means closing your restaurant. Giving up is not deciding to close. Giving up is deciding to not try to change, to not try to have autonomy over your own direction. And I know that's very airy-fairy in this difficult time and not very practical. It's not a tip. I think it just needs to be said. How do you do it practically? How you survive in the wild is, firstly, when it comes to instilling confidence in your customers, you need to engage in what I'm calling cleanliness theater. That does not mean theater like, oh, it's all fake and we're doing it just for show. That means theater the same way that an open kitchen concept is theater. People can see what's going on. You're opening your doors, and rather than cleaning stuff behind the scenes, rather than waiting, doing all that stuff beforehand, before people arrive, doing it when they're there so they can see you doing it. It also means paying particular attention to not just the cleanliness, but the state of cared forness of especially your front of restaurant. Because any sign of neglect, even though it might not be fair, might translate in people's mind to uncared forness, which then might translate to, in their mind to, are they being careful with my food? Are they being careful in this really dangerous time? So it could not be more important than to really have a critical eye when it comes to how your business presents itself. It doesn't have to be new. It has to look cared for and intentional. Now, the next thing I'm going to say can kind of feel like the anti-cared for and intentional thing, which is you need to embrace imperfection. But what I mean by that is not physically embrace imperfection. You need to be perfect. You need to strive for perfection in your cleanliness, in the way you present your food, in the way you care for customers. But part of doing that is being honest when you fall short. So the next two things, embracing that something might not be perfect, that you're still learning how to do to go, that you're still learning how to navigate this difficult time, that you're still learning how to figure out how you're going to take care of all your employees, that you're going to make mistakes, and just embracing that and being honest. It will instill a sense of trust in you from other people, and it will allow them to know they can rely on what you say. It's a big deal. How do you thrive in this world? Honestly, the short answer is you have to take care of yourself and why you're doing this. If it's just to continue on a treadmill, that's not going to be good enough. You'll burn yourself out. Number one, just recognize that you're a beacon. Right now, people are looking at independent restaurants as a barometer for what's going to happen to all of our entrepreneurship, to everything that's not backed by a huge corporation. You guys are some of the first to really take the brunt of this crisis. How you rally or don't is a big deal. And sometimes that means closing, but closing well, closing with grace. It just means to be a beacon of hope. And I know that's a tall order, and I'm sorry. You guys, I guess, drew the short straw. I don't know what to say. It sucks that you have to be good and hopeful and still flailing. It sucks, but that's where we are. And if you were anyone but independent restaurants and bars, I would be nervous. But the truth is that that's what it takes to open in the first place. You have this, you know how to do this. The second is be prepared to move. You guys are fantastic at responding to what's going on, rolling with the punches. In that sense, you're great. What I want you to remember is that part of being prepared to move is actually being prepared to let other people know that you need to transition, to commit to pivoting, to commit to the takeout, to commit to closing, to commit to, hey, I'm falling short on this. Can I work with you? And I need some help with this. Just whatever you're doing, when you're moving and you're preparing to move. You are preparing to need help. You are preparing to have struggles, and you're doing it anyway. And in that regard, checking in with your direction. Where are you trying to go? Not just like financially, but also what are the deal breakers for you? Is it, I will keep my restaurant open at any cost? Or is it, I will stay open until I can't continue to offer this particular benefit to my employees? You know, whatever that touchstone is for you, that line in the sand, just know it and check in with it regularly to make sure that you're not chasing after something that's actually compromising you a little bit at a time. And finally, I know it's hard, but find a way to retreat from this world often, at least once a day. That doesn't mean, oh yeah, I took a break, I watched some Netflix, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. There's a way that our brains go 1,000 miles a minute, particularly restaurant folks. You are constantly in problem solving mode and planning mode and wondering mode and contingency mode. And that could not be more true than now. But right now, what can happen is you can get stuck in that spin mode because there isn't as much to do, because there aren't as many fires to put out. You're not used to the slow motion crash and avoiding that. You're used to the fast motion crash, avoiding that. Retreat as much as you can to just be quiet and let yourself relax and stop solving the problem. Just be with the problem, not trying to solve it, at least once a day. It can help you refresh and see things from a new perspective. There's a reason why most of our great ideas happen in the shower, because we're not trying to have an idea in the shower. And as soon as we turn off the noise in our head, sometimes those boys in the basement, as Stephen King calls them, kick up an idea that you never knew you were even thinking of. So just try and be quiet at least once a day. I've been saying this in every webinar, but I really want to emphasize to everyone out there, the independent restaurants, the independent bars, the allies that work with them, and their pets. Prioritize your safety. Don't be reckless. And most importantly, stay yourself. Stay the person that opened that restaurant and loves what they do. Stay that person. Don't lose yourself to save your business. You are what's important. That spirit that caused you to open in the first place is what's important. It's most important that that survives over everything else. So I hope that this little tiny like pep talky webinar has been valuable. I'm being summoned by a dog to stop, so I'm gonna do that. But if you have any comments, questions, or anything else, please put them in the area below and I will be sure to answer. I will also be offering a group of webinars, workshops, and stuff like that coming up on all these topics: menu, money, community, and confidence, with more practical tips, checklists, open forums where everyone can share ideas, all of those things. So stay tuned for more content and head to the Friday guide if you'd like to sign up to be kept in the loop on what's coming up next. Thank you so much for watching, and once again, stay strong, stay safe, and stay yourself out there, and together we will save food and beverage.